Good day, everyone. This is Pine Leaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Everything's going fine over at this end, and is the Bavarian flu all gotten rid of?
It is, and
Bavarian flu, I guess.
And the plague has gone. The heat wave has gone. So it's not too bad in Barovia these days.
All right, that's good to hear.
Except for those pesky villagers still trying to get into the castle.
Well, yeah, but I think there's nothing to get rid of them.
That is very true.
Then let's head into the game news for this week, and we'll begin with a downtime notice for Tuesday, June 20th at 9 a.m. through noon, U.S. Eastern Time. That's a 3-hour download time. And the thing to keep in mind on this one is that it's for a quick update to the game to fix something that some people are doing naughty things with.
That is a roundabout way of saying they're fixing an exploit. Yeah, don't know what it is. They're not going to ever tell you what it is. All you need to know is, as you said, Tuesday, June 20th, 9 a.m. to noon, you're not going to be able to play DDO.
Yeah, the only time you usually find out such things is if it's so visible to everyone that...
Right, yeah. So
there's one in Lotro where there was actually where people were cheating on a skirmish in such a way. And, of course, this was back in the days when there was a leaderboard for skirmish marks earned.
Probably not a wise idea to do that.
Yeah, so there was this public board saying how many skirmish... And there were these people in one server who were getting 2 or 3 million marks. And this is at the very beginning. It took me 6 years to earn 1 million marks. So you can imagine doing it within the first 3 months of it being out. Made it rather obvious.
That would be very obvious. And no, Gums Gang, they are not deleting Warlocks.
They're not deleting Warlocks. Wait, he thought that was the exploit?
He did put a little smiley face behind it, so yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because a lot of people do say Warlocks are the easy exploit to win the game. All you got to do is hit a button and everything dies. Can't help it, Warlocks are awesome.
Well, I don't think it quite works that way. Because
yeah, I gotta say they're not...
When I play, they don't just all die.
They're not quite that OP. They are a little OP, but not quite that OP. I don't think so.
Yeah, but you got to remember is that since I tend to use underpowered gear.
True. Well, I don't.
It sort of balances out to give me about an average character as a result.
That's true. And like if people, Gums King says, okay, sometimes it takes 2 buttons. You are just on a roll, Gums. You're on a roll, buddy. But yeah, if people are like new to the show and don't realize it, Pine Leaf and I are not like hardcore min-max players. We play to have fun. We have been playing for a while, but we don't really have like 19 is our highest character. I mean, I have one that's 21, but that's not the one I play with you. But so basically, like the highest character I have is 21, and I think the highest you have is. Do you have anybody higher than 20?
Right now, my highest character is about 13 right now, but that's Second Life.
Okay.
Because the character that I got to 20 with you continued on and I TR'd.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you TR'd that one. That's right. So yeah. So we just play to have fun, and so if you're new to the show, that's why some of the stuff we say, I'm sure some people are like, Really? You think that's hard? Well, maybe to us it is because, like Piney said, we don't have the best gear. We don't raid. I raid a little bit, but not, like hardcore or whatever, and I don't do the gear grind. So we just play to have fun. That's what it's all about. It's just having fun and killing things with my Warlock and stabbing things in the back with my Rogue. And Gums King does say, FYI, he does love the Warlock. I do too.
Okay. Then let's head into the Chronicle, issue 239. And what is that on the top?
We have a lineup of characters. Why? I don't know. We have the Shader Kai. We have the Purple Knight. we have a Warforged, or Blade Forged actually, and we have a looks like a Sun Elf.
So the 4 iconics.
Yeah, that is exactly what that is. And it looks like they're just kind of mugging for the camera. So there you go. That's our Chronicle header this week. In the community spotlight, the Cauldron of Night, that is an awesome name, is writing fiction about the Reaper. So if you're into some fan fiction writing, check this out. I sadly have not looked at this yet, but I will. Because, like I said, I like the name, The Cauldron of Night, so hopefully the Reaper story is good. I will check that out and let you know. Axel, over on his his YouTube channel, I should say, is speculating on what Ravenloft might bring into the game in a brand new video. So click over and check out his YouTube channel and check out the Ravenloft video.
All right. I think it'll bring vampires.
Yeah, that's going to say. I'm guessing it's going to bring vampires and it's going to bring fog. Just kind of throwing that out there, maybe. Okay, technically it would be a mist and not fog, but
right.
You get the drift.
Do we get any in the current implementation of vampires? Do they ever use mist form?
Yes. A couple of the higher level ones will like mist out and they go into mist for a second and then they turn into bats. Then when you almost have them killed, they do that and then they phase back in.
Okay.
They're very annoying when they do that.
Yeah.
And then in the event section, we've got the Munchkin Summer Games, which of course is continuing on, and that is over on Kyber. Click over and find out more about that. We do have the fan site section, as always. DDO Cast had another debate episode where they are talking about the proposed cleric changes with some dude named Drac that had no idea what he was talking about.
You were talking about clerics?
I was, yes. I'm like, Patrick, why do you have me on the show? I don't play a cleric.
Yeah, that'd be almost as bad as having me do it.
I was kind of talking more about the pen and paper side of things, how turn works in pen and paper compared to the game. So,
all right,
it kind of made sense. But fun episode. I enjoyed it a lot. So check that out. Then we have that Pine Leaf guy. He's continuing to play his Dragonborn.
Right.
2 weeks in a row. You got a shout out in the Chronicle, man. 2 weeks in a row.
Ooh. That was for the Cage Trolls, I guess? Or is that...
I'm not sure. I'd have to click over on the link and see which video it came up.
Actually, that was for Yarkuk's Last Stand.
Okay, yeah, you kind of got to remember the Chronicle is like a week behind usually because of how...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Times,
that would have been Yarkuk's Last Stand that we covered.
And then we have a new YouTuber called Johnny the Savage. He is running Legendary Elite Black and Blue Solo.
Legendary Elite Black and Blue, and he's running... Well, I'm not familiar enough with Black and Blue to know how doable. Now, of course, running it Legendary Elite in the first place is, to me, insanity. So
yeah, that's just insanity to me that he's doing it solo. But he did, and I watched the video, and he did it successfully. But it was nuts.
Because I would think playing Legendary Elite that if you had hirelings, it might make things worse since the...
Yeah, he was doing it true solo. He had no hireling.
Okay, it would probably be for the best because I know that in normal, hirelings aren't charged you as a full player, while I think when you go into hard and then elite, that sort of gets removed.
Yeah, I never could figure out exactly how that worked with hirelings, if they were considered like a full player, half a player, what the ruling, if it changed from difficulty level. It
changes, according to anything I've seen, it changes at difficulty level. That at normal and casual, there's a significant, that's treated, I think it's like half a character or something. I don't know the exact numbers, but I don't know what, at the scaling changes at hard, and I assume that at elite they're considered to be full characters. So it's like, okay, even though they don't have full brains. The screenshot of the week is the Keeper's Sanctuary.
Which, then again, this kind of goes back to the beginning of the show where I said we're kind of casual fun players. I'm not sure what the Keeper's Sanctuary is. But it looks kind of cool. That is from a Bub Baker, trying to figure a Bub Baker, I guess. A Bub Baker Boone. We'll go with that. Gets lost in the lights of the Keeper Sanctuary and the 320th DDO screenshot of the week. It's kind of a cool screenshot. Apparently that's the ceiling, and it's got like all kind of like glyphs and writing on it. It's pretty cool looking. I'm showing my noob site again by saying I have no idea where that's at.
Yeah. To me, it looks like Abu Bakr.
Okay, we'll go with that. That probably sounds a little better than what I said. I usually tend to like butcher names, so yeah.
I'm sure it's something in between.
Probably close. And of course, we do have our Chronicle comment. That is a very strange question this week. What art or craft is your favorite character's little-known activity when not adventuring?
What art or craft is my favorite character's little-known activity when not adventuring?
That's a really weird question this week, I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what a gnome warlock would be doing between adventures.
Well, I could probably tell you what my gnome warlock is doing, but yours is the nicer side of the warlock. We'll say.
Yeah, mine is probably is working with a garden or something to go into the phase side. So therefore would want a garden, maybe with some animals that are coming into it. Yours, if an animal came into your garden, you'd probably blast it.
Sacrifice it to my evil god is what I'd be doing.
Yeah, okay, that's another possibility.
See, that's why I said our warlocks are totally different. In our chat room, Gums King is saying noodling. It's an art form. Really?
Noodling?
Noodling. And Brack Barefeet is saying recipe book shopping.
Recipe book shopping. Okay.
Because he needs to read up on how to cook and prepare a red dragon. Apparently, he's going to roast a red dragon after he kills it.
Oh, no. You're going to... Then the question is, what gives a red dragon fire resistance? Because if the thing that gives the dragon the fire resistance is something inherent to its body makeup, then roasting it would be rather difficult.
That's great. You do bring up a valid point, and we'll wait for the delay to see if he answers on that, see if he has a good answer for that. But Gumsgang says, that is a very good idea you have, Brack. I'm going to change mine to dragon noodling. Apparently, Gumsgang is really into noodling.
Okay.
Don't know, don't want to know. And that is pretty much our article for this week.
Let's see what's on sale this week. Anything nice?
And Brack Barefeet did answer, and he says, well, of course, that is why I need to research it.
You got a good point with that. You're right.
Good answer, sir. This week is a pretty decent sale. We have 20% off of the augments, hats and helmets, and cosmetic armor kits. But still, I think I've said this before last time they're on sale, I think they're a little expensive even when they're on sale. But there is some cool-looking cosmetic armor you can buy, though. So if you're going to buy it when it's on sale. That's what I say.
Okay.
Of course, I say that about everything because I'm cheap, but that's besides the point. Then we do have our free sample of the week, and that is through June 22nd. You can get your lasting potion of resist fire. You will get 10 of those. I'm sorry, I do that every time. That throws me off every time. You will get 5 of those, and they are plus 10 resist fires. You use the coupon code HOTFEET. HOTFEET. Hot feet.
Let us see what's hot on the tabletop then. And we'll begin with Dungeons & Dragons Tomb of Annihilation Adventure System board game. I thought this was announced a couple of weeks ago.
It was, but we actually have some more information on it now.
Ooh.
And the week you weren't here, when I had Lessa and Mithri on, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but we didn't talk about it a lot because they finally now just sent out the full press release for it, and we found some new details. But can we just talk how I was sort of halfway right?
Sort of halfway right?
Because if people that listen to the show might remember, we were talking about how there was a new adventure board game coming out.
Right.
and we were kind of speculating on what it was. I said it was going to be Tomb of Horrors. So I'm kind of halfway right.
Well, this is supposed to be a kindlier, gentler Tomb of Horrors?
No. No, the Tomb of Annihilation is maybe worse than the Tomb of Horrors. Yeah, it's going to be pretty deadly.
Oh, you're familiar with the Tomb of Annihilation?
Well, from what they have kind of said so far, and on the stream of Annihilation that they did when they announced this, they kind of gave you some sneak peeks at some of the gameplay that's going to be in the book, and from what those games were like, yeah, it's going to be crazy deadly.
Okay.
And then, of course, adding on to that, the new rules they have for making traps and the way traps are going to work. So, yeah, you're going to die, and you're going to die a lot.
Oh, wonderful.
But yes, so if you are familiar with the other adventure system board games, those being Castle Ravenloft, The Legend of Drizzt, Wrath of Bashardalin, and the Temple of Elemental Evil, you're going to be right at home playing this. It is a cooperative game for 2 to 5 players. I'm sorry, it's actually you can actually play this solo as well. So it's a single player or a cooperative 2 to 5 player game set in the world of the Tomb of Annihilation, which of course is the new storyline. You are going to play a heroic adventure with amazing abilities, spells, and magic weapons. You must explore the jungles of Chult, as well as the legendary Tomb of the Nine Gods, where you will fight monsters, overcome deadly traps, and find great treasures. This will feature 42 minis, 3 Misty Arch standees, 2 Demon Mouth standees, 5... Yeah, see, right there, that's all you need to know. Because if you're familiar with Tomb of Horrors, you know what that Devil Mouth does. And that's all I'll say because of spoilers. Of course, is it really fair to say that about Tomb of Horrors? Because that came out in, 70-something?
When I ran that one, yes, I remember someone jumping into that mouth. 2 different characters.
Oh, yeah. I think every time I ran Tomb of Horrors, I've had a player that either jumps all the way into it or sticks their hand into it and then totally regrets it later.
Yes.
This is, as I said, going to be an adventure system game. So that means if you own any of the other games, you can create an even more exciting experience by combining them. And if you want to get crazy, you can combine them all into one giant crazy adventure system game.
What a mess.
Going to release this year in both standard and premium editions. The standard edition is going to be an MSRP of $79.99, and your MSRP on the premium edition is going to be, wait for it, $159.99. You might be asking yourself,
is painted miniatures?
Yes, I was going to say, and you might be asking yourself, why am I going to pay that much more for the other? Because the miniatures are painted. Is it worth paying that much more for? I don't know.
Now, my question to you
is
on these tiles the tiles only represent the underground portion in the tombs, because 40 tiles sounds like a bit small if it's going to cover both the jungle and the tomb.
Was my question as well, and they have not said anything about that. I should email my PR contact at WizKids that question and see if they can actually shed some light on that, because I read that and I thought the same thing you did too. I'm like, okay, so how are you going to actually go into the jungle if they don't mention that you have jungle tiles, because you only have 40 dungeon tiles, it says.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I will email my PR contact at WizKids and we'll see if they answer, because they're kind of keeping information on this on the low key, which I'm kind of guessing that's because they're going to be showing this off at Gen Con, would be my speculation. But there you go. Tomb of Annihilation, the board game, coming later this year from WizKids. $79.99 or $159.99. And as a special bonus, if you buy the first edition of this, because I'm sure they'll have to do reprints, it's going to include a Neverwinter gift. All the main products listed that I just said will include a unique code inside the packaging that can be redeemed in the free-to-play Dungeons & Dragons-based action RPG Neverwinter. Players can expect to find a variety of loot from WizKids, that's including exclusive items, to rare companions, and much more. So they got their tie-in with Neverwinter. Never DDO, just Neverwinter.
Uh-huh. Well,
don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on that bandwagon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a whole other ball of wax that I don't think we want to unfurl right now. So we can just move on.
All right, then let's head into Geek Chic tables, gaming tables, and it doesn't sound like that there are going to be too many more of these.
There is not. They are no more. They, of course, were one of the best-known makers of the dining room table that was specially designed to be a gaming table underneath. They started back in 2008, offering some wonderful tables with expensive prices, but wow, were they pretty looking. I always used to go to their booth at Gen Con and just kind of drool, and it's like, one day, my precious, one day.
Now, nevermore.
Exactly. That's not going to happen. And this kind of came out of the blue, really. There was just a tweet that was sent out from Robert Gifford, who was the owner and CEO of Geek Chic, and he said, "It is with great sadness that I must announce Geek Chic has ceased operations. Despite heroic efforts by many, this outcome is out of our hands. While I am certain there are many outstanding questions, we are currently limited in our ability to respond. The website will be updated with the appropriate contact information and procedures as they become available. I am forever indebted to those who joined us on this adventure, and I am absolutely gutted about its end." Mm-hmm. So that's all they had to say, and I've checked the website, and there's still no update. And people are kind of wondering, hey, I pre-ordered a table. You have my money. Am I ever going to get my table, or am I out my money, or what am I going to have to do? And I know I read over on Board Game Geek, there's a lot of people that are doing chargebacks on their credit cards to this. So I don't know. It's just a big old mess right now.
Yeah. Then let's head into some brighter news.
Yeah, well, that would be good, because that was kind of a downer.
Let's see who won the 2017 Origins Awards this year.
Yes, the Origins Game Fair was held over the weekend and on Saturday nights. They, of course, did the annual Origins Award Banquet. Say that a couple times fast. And the winners are, the Game of the Year was Scythe from Stonemaier Games.
Okay.
Board Game of the Year was Scythe from Stonemaier Games.
That shouldn't be too much of a shock if it won Game of the Year.
Right. No, and I know a lot of people are loving Scythe. I actually haven't played it, so I can't say for sure, but I know a couple of my friends played it at Winter Fantasy this year, and they said they really, really, really enjoyed it. So
I saw a playthrough of it and watch it played, but I just couldn't get excited over it.
Yeah, I'm not a big mech type person, so I was like,
I think it's because of all the mechs in there is one of the things, right? Because I'm not a big person on mech, and plus I think it was it's a strategic level game or something like this, and I don't know, it looks like a big footprint game, and
getting
off of those.
It is, yeah. You would need a big table to play it. But congratulations to Stonemaier Games for grabbing both the Board Game of the Year and Game of the Year. The Family Game of the Year went to Happy Salmon. The RPG of the Year, No Thank You Evil, which is a awesome RPG for kids. If you have kids and you want to get them into RPGs, I highly, highly recommend you checking out No Thank You Evil. Okay. And the best collectible of the year was the Pokemon X111 Steam Siege Booster. That is a mouthful.
Why 11? Is that some sort of weird code?
Maybe this for the newest edition of Pokemon. I don't know. I'm not a Pokemon person whatsoever. Okay. I watched the cartoon when it was out and popular a couple times, and I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Jeez, I don't like Pokemon. I don't like mechs. What in the world?
Okay. you weren't out doing Pokemon Go last year then?
I was not, no.
Okay.
And I made fun of one of my friends that did that. Yes, I did. I will admit I did.
Okay. What about the best accessory of the year?
That went to the Blood Rage Organizer from the Broken Token, which Broken
Not
Token
just
does
Broken
great.
Token in general, but their Blood Rage Organizer.
That's right, yes. And that really was a nice organizer for Blood Rage. But like I said, Broken Token does really good stuff. So if you really want to organize your board games, I highly recommend checking out Broken Token. They do great work. And then last but not least, we have the card game of the year, which went to Mystic Veil.
Right? I guess that's no huge shock.
And then, as I said in the article I put up over on DDO Players, if you want to see all the games that were nominated in all the categories, you can click over in the show notes and you can see who was nominated. But congratulations to all the winners of the 2017 Origins Award. And I guess the next big award that will be coming up for the tabletop game industry will be the Spiel des Jahres.
And when does that come out?
July 19th is going to be the Spiel, and the Kinderspiel is going to be announced tomorrow, I do believe.
Ah, all right.
So we will know soon who won the Kinderspiel, which of course is the children's game of the year. And then the Spiel, which is the German game of the year, will be out. I want to say July 19th is when that one is announced.
All right, then let's head out into our week in gaming. And Drac, what have you been up to?
I did some stuff with you, of course, in DDO, which I will let you talk about. But I was basically this week playing my Druid soon-to-be, well, I guess not soon-to-be because it's now my Wolflock. So it's not really Druid anymore. It's because I'm always in Wolf form. So it's just my Wolflock. I'll just call him my Wolflock. Okay. And then that's the one, of course, at 20, I'm going to TR.
Be a DragonLock.
TR. Do a dragon, then I'm going to be a DragonLock. So there you go. But I did the final against the Slave Lords, so that was the assault on the area of the Slave Lords. And then I was trying to decide what the heck I want to do, and I'm like, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to go into Thurnal, because I need to get the Mantle of the World Shaper, so I can combine that with my voice. So that's what I did. I went into the ruins of Thurnal, and it's been a long time since I did that quest chain. And I did the Western evacuation, which of course is need for supplies, the rescue, and secure the area. Then I did the Eastern, which is the Library of Thurnal, escort the expedition, and hold the reinforcements. And I forgot how annoying, and now I can't remember which one it is. I think it's escort the expedition, where you have to like go in and rescue the dude, and then you got to like take him back, and you got to keep him alive as you do it. And the dude is like totally annoying. I forgot how annoying that quest is.
Yeah, it can be. So it's trying to figure also where did he go? What was he supposed to be doing? What are you doing back here?
Exactly. Like, dude, what are you doing? Seriously. Or like, there'll be like 2 or 3 mobs in front of me, and I'll start shooting them, and he's like, oh, cool, I need to go kill those guys with my fist. And I'm like, no, you do not. You need to stay behind me. So, yeah, that quest is like crazy annoying, but what are you going to do? Gaming-wise, that was really it. I did do some of the games I've been talking about in the past couple of weeks for reviews, which those reviews are up on the site now, so if you want to read those. Most of them are up. I'm going to do 2 more tomorrow. I got them scheduled to actually post. So if you're into video game reviews, which I did not add to the show notes, so I'm a bad podcast producer. So I guess we'll have to talk about those next week because, I suck.
You forgot to include the video game reviews.
I did forget to include the video game reviews. So
well, maybe you could do the reviews now.
We could, if you want, or we could do it next week. It doesn't matter.
We could do it now because you want people to have timely reviews, right?
Well, there you go. Okay, so I reviewed Renowned Explorers, the International Society, and that is a mouthful again. Everything we've been talking about tonight has been a mouthful, but yes, Renowned Explorers is an attitude-driven, turn-based strategy exploration game. It's a... You're like, what the heck is that? So basically what it is it's a turn-based strategy game. So if you're familiar with those, you know how turn-based strategy games work.
Yeah, I've got some idea.
But the thing that's different about it is you can choose to handle things how you see fit. If you want to actually go in and fight the mobs that you're up against, you can just go ahead and attack them. Or you can try to be kind to them. And if that works, you will actually, quote unquote, defeat them, but you defeat them with kindness. Or you can go in, kill them with kindness, exactly. Or you can go in and you can insult them and win that way. Or you can do a combination of them. You can, maybe attack one of them, but be kind to one of them and insult another one. So yeah, it's really weird, but it works together in an amazing way. It really works good. It's really weird to do at first, though. I will give you that, because when I first started playing it, and I went through the little tutorial, and they kind of explained how that works, I'm like, okay, this is just strange. And then I got into my first fight outside of the tutorial, and I tried it, and it kind of works like rock, paper, scissors in a way. There's like a mechanic that, you do one thing, he does another thing, and then you see which one trumps each other. But yeah, so it's weird in a weird way, but it works. It works really well. And the game has kind of like a cartoony vibe to it with the graphics and everything. So it's got some fun graphics, awesome soundtrack to it. I love the soundtrack. The game is basically about exploration. You are trying to be the best explorer out there. And there is many, 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 many places to explore. And you will have random events happen to you. You also have to keep track of your supplies because you can only move so far. And then if you run out of supplies, you can't move anymore. And then your party starts getting mad at you. And then they start dying. So you have a lot of stuff to keep track of. But it's handled in-game very, very well. In some of the places you can explore, you can also find supplies. So that kind of helps to keep your supplies up. Or you can find a town and go and trade for stuff that you have picked up. Or if you have money, you can buy supplies as well. So that is Renowned Explorers International Society. And that is out now, actually. It is up on Steam, and there's also some DLC for it as well. My review did cover all of them, so it covered the base game, the expansion, More to Explore, and the Emperor's Challenge DLC as well. So if you want more information on that, you can head over to the official webpage, which I've linked in the review, or you can check it out on Steam, which I have also linked in the review. And a big thanks to Abby Games for providing us the game to review. So check it out. So once again, that is from Abby Games, and that is the Renowned Explorers International Society. And that is a mouthful.
Whee!
And then the other game that I reviewed is called For the King, and this is actually one of those early access games. This was a game that was successfully kickstarted late last year and is now in the early access portion of the game. And this is a very challenging, and as I said in my review, when I say challenging, read that as hard, blend of strategy, a Japanese RPG, with roguelike elements thrown in just because, hey, why the heck not? The nice thing about it is this has great replayability because the maps, when you start a new game, are all done procedurally. So they are randomly created and drawn. And as I said, death comes easy, and it will come many, 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 many times. So get used to dying because it's going to happen a lot.
A lot.
This, again, has another cartoony feel to it for the graphics. So I know there's some people that are really off-put about cartoony type graphics. So if you're not into that, you're not going to like either one of these games because they kind of have a whimsical cartoon feel to them. So just keep that in mind. Once again, this has a great soundtrack as well. There is a main quest in the game, and basically that is involving the king was recently assassinated, and the queen wants to discover the truth of what actually happened, and she, of course, picks you, the random adventurer, to go find this out for her. The weird thing about the game, though, I guess it's not weird, it's just like a mechanic they choose to use in the game, there is something called a chaos meter. So what happens is the game is timed. You only have so long to get where you need to go. So you need to do the main storyline quest. You only have so long to do the steps in that quest. But you can pick up other quests and you can pick up random encounters and stuff along the way. So you have to decide, okay, do I want to do this random quest to maybe get better loot? Or do I want to actually do this encounter that I just pulled up, like I ran into some wolves? Do I want to try to kill those wolves? Will I have enough time to do that and to get to the next point of the main quest? Because if you run out on your chaos timer, bad things happen. What happened to me is my first playthrough, I actually did run out on the chaos timer. And then I had a bunch of raves that started chasing me around the map and killed me over and over again. I'm not sure if that's what happens every time. That just the first time it happened to me. And then my second playthrough, I was very conscious on, okay, I'm not going to have time to go do this because I have to get to this point, and I know I'm not going to have time to do it, so I'm going to skip that. So once again, that's where kind of like the roguelike comes in, because when you die, you fail the quest, but you can start back over with the same characters, but you don't start at the same point, but your characters still have all of your stuff, so that's where the roguelike comes into it. And then, as I said, Japanese RPG, because the combat in it reminded me very, very much of a Japanese RPG. So that is For the King. As I said, that was a successfully Kickstarted game. It is now in early access up on Steam for everybody. And I'd like to thank Iron Oak Games for contacting us and sending us the Steam code so we could check it out for all you guys. Once again, For the King, early access game up on Steam, and I have linked both the homepage and the Steam page for the game over on ddoplayers.com, and it'll also be in the show notes.
Now let's head into my week with Drac. I ran my No Morlock, level 18. We went into the 12 and ran the Sane Asylum, then the Lord of Stone, and there we reached level 19.
We did. We are ever so close to that magical 20 level.
Ever so close to that epic level. Then on my monk, who's currently Monk 7, Warlock 6. So I really should say Monk/Warlock, I guess.
A MonkLock.
A MonkLock, yes. Okay, that wins it. MonkLock. And I went to Giant Hold, where I returned to Giant Hold after some time away there, and I went to the Prison of the Plains, which I ran casual, and Prisoner of the Plains is quite an instance. You remember that one, right?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm just impressed you actually tried to do it by yourself. It's
Yeah.
not that it's that hard. It's just, yeah.
It's a little interesting in its style, that's for sure. And what I did is I decided just to do the first 6 of the planes that you get going from up to down.
Right.
Now, law, of course, was easy because I'm a monk. So obviously I had no trouble with law. Then that evil one with, I think it was, I don't know if it was chaos or evil, but it was real nasty stuff in that one with all this negative energy stuff.
Yeah.
Then the fire one, the nature one, and then the night one, and that gave me what I needed. Then I went downstairs and did the boss fight. Whee! But yeah, I amazed that I actually got through there. And then I reran Trial by Fire. I also reran Tower of Frost because I just like running Tower of Frost, so I do that.
You really, really like that dungeon, don't you?
Yeah, I like that dungeon.
It is nice. It's fun. I do like that. I should run that again. Hey, that's something I could do on my Warlock my Wolflock, I should say. I'm about the level range for that. I could do that next.
And Cordovan has such a cheerful voice when he does that dungeon.
He did do a really good job with the DM work on that.
Yeah. Then on tabletop, my highlight there was running several rounds of Friday, and during that time, I lost most of them, but I did win one game, and in that win, I broke my record for my best game. I think my old record was somewhere in the low 70s, and this time I managed to get 91 points, which, as far as I know, is an excellent score for Friday.
And remind me again what Friday is.
And Friday is a single-player deck-building game where you take on the role of Friday, trying to teach Robinson Crusoe how to survive.
Okay, all right. I thought that was the Robinson Crusoe game, but I wasn't sure. But okay.
Right.
So, yeah, 91. That sounds like, I don't know how points are scored, but that sounds like amazingly awesome.
But in the back, when they talk about scoring, they say, see if you can beat 80 points, which apparently is. And I never managed to see if I could do it yet. But now I did manage to get to 91, but the couple of games I played since then, I got crushed again. So I think I had a lot of luck involved because that luck certainly disappeared in the last couple of games.
Gotcha.
Right. Sometimes the RNG likes you, and sometimes it doesn't. Though actually, in your case.
Yeah, I'm going to say, really? Name one instance where the RNG liked me. One time.
Yeah. We currently have 22 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or if you be a guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And this week we have some featured comments. DDO Central on Dungeons & Dragons Tomb of Annihilation Adventure board game. Wizards of the Coast's constant promotion of Neverwinter isn't all bad, as at least some of the new Neverwinter players find their way into DDO. And then there's a smiley face after that.
Of course, I'm going to say you got to add the smiley face then.
Yes.
It's all important on the internet. The smiley face will exactly tell you everything you need to know about the post.
All right. And what does Moke Taskmaster have to say?
Mock left a comment on our Geek Chic post, and he says, well, this indeed is sad news. Seeing Geek Chic at Gen Con has been a mainstay stop for me in the dealer hall show floor. I've often coveted their tables because they were indeed quite amazing. There are quite a few game table companies in the marketplace now, but I'm not sure any of them are quite as chic as Geek Chic tables were. They will be missed.
We do not have any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You'd also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAllied, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf Noodles. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News on the first and third Friday of each month at 11 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have XP Quest, but you said something about a hiatus?
Yeah, I do believe so. I got to get in touch with them and see what in the world is going on, because, yeah, they haven't had an episode lately, so... but normally, yes, first and third Fridays at 11 p.m. But here lately, no new episodes, so I don't know. I will get in touch with DJ and say, dude, what are you doing? What's going on?
All right. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Academy After School. And every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. You chose for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. This is Piney Fuels reminding you to quest responsibly.